Hello and welcome to The Slice. My name is Michael and today I have a super special guest. His name is Alan Wynn Davies. Hello to you, Alan.
Hello, Michael. Good morning.
Are you all right? Are you good? Are
I'm
you
living the
well?
dream. I'm really well, thanks.
Are you excited for today's episode? Because we've talked about this quite a lot, haven't we?
We've been talking about it for too long, so yeah, super excited.
For those that are watching this show today, me and Alan speak every Friday and have done for, it's a good couple of months, isn't it? Every Friday, 4
Probably
o'clock.
longer, I'd say. It's probably knocking on 6 months by now, isn't it?
Is it? That's longer than my
Yeah.
relationship. There you go. There you go. So you've seen the show, you know there's a 10-minute timer. So I am going to press that when you're ready. At the end of the 10 minutes, that's it. Conversation over. How does that sound?
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
See, and even I've messed up already. I've stumbled my words. So if that should make you feel relaxed, I don't know what else will. So are you ready?
I'm ready. Let's
Good
do it.
stuff. So your timer has started. Alan, for those that don't know who you are, tell us who are you and what do you do?
So, hello, everybody. My name's Alan Wynn Davies. I am a business development manager for Direct Line Communications. You know already, but for everyone who sees this, they might not know. My journey in telecoms started 20 years ago. And when you look back at the last 20 years and how technology's changed, I've been on quite a journey, not only personally in the way I use technology, but also what I can offer companies to help them communicate better. And I was looking at the timeline the other day. Back in 2001, you basically had a mobile phone that had Bluetooth, and
Wow, yeah.
then the int-
Revolutionary.
yeah, I mean Bluetooth. I mean the concept of you being able to use a Bluetooth headset and talk on a phone without actually touching your phone was wow. It was amazing.
Mm,
And then within a couple of years, BlackBerry had a massive impact on the business market, especially because their devices were the first devices where you'd be able to send and receive business emails.
mm,
So the impact had on businesses was massive because people like me who were predominantly field based, I would go and see clients during the day. I would then drive back from Manchester back to North Wales and I would sit there and work on quotations, but I would be having to do all of that from the office. So going through that journey, when you get to the likes of 2008, when you had the launch of the first iPhone, when you had the first fiber broadband coming into the UK, we went on to a different journey in the telecoms world with business, where businesses can suddenly use cloud services like Office 365 while they're on the move. They can improve their customer experience. They can do things a lot faster. They can upload and download things a lot quicker. But this technology and being able to do things on the move always meant that there was a higher cost for it.
mm,
And that's the bit that I was most interested in, where with businesses and telecoms, as you know, there's lots of companies out there that want to sell you a package because it makes the most commission for them. My my view on this was always a little bit different in that I want to form relationships with businesses,
mhm,
and I'm only going to form relationships with businesses by understanding what their problems are, but also making sure that all the things that they do with these devices on the move that are costing them lots of money, we analyze it first. We make sure that we understand that if they're getting the minutes and the text and the data included on their mobile tariffs, what else are they spending their money on?
mm,
And I soon realized that after doing detailed audits of business accounts, that lots of companies are ringing 0871 numbers and 0845 numbers. And a lot of these companies are spending an awful lot of money on these types of calls. So my mission was always, what else can that company do to get around all these additional charges on their accounts?
There
And
is a
I
Jack
just,
Russell going, so I do apologise for that.
it's all
But
right.
again, life is not perfect.
This is how we like it, isn't it? This is the real world that we live
It
in.
is. I'm dying inside, by the way.
Don't worry
But
about it.
please continue.
Molly's lovely.
She
Let her
is.
bark. It's
She's
fine.
all right in small doses.
So I guess the point I'm making is my job isn't necessarily to sell somebody a telecommunication solution. It's to make sure that they have control over their costs.
Yeah.
And there's certain apps out there that people can use on their mobiles to
Hmm.
stop charges to non-geographical numbers. If they're ringing their supplier or a customer on 0845 number, there's no need for them to be paying for these calls anymore. The technology, the apps are out there already.
Hmm.
most telecoms companies in this land don't go to that extent. And I think that's why I've stood the test of time over the last 20 years in using the knowledge I've had, the experience I've had in the
Yeah.
industry, and how things have evolved to advise people properly on how they can
Mm.
control their costs, but also use the latest technology to make the productivity better, the customer experience better, the company brand image better. Um, so we deal in all telecoms aspects, whether it be mobile phones,
Mhm.
broadband, telephone systems. We're now in an age where telephone systems are so different to what they used to be 4 or 5 years ago because people aren't necessarily using a handset.
Yeah.
People are now using software on laptops or apps on mobile phones, which connect into the company phone systems, which gives them the flexibility to work from home or abroad or anywhere they want in the world. But it still keeps that corporate brand image
Yeah. Yeah.
nice and
Yeah.
healthy, and it still keeps that customer experience at the highest level. So it's a very exciting time we're in terms of technology. It's a very exciting time that we're in terms of communications. But now we've got the benefit of using video, which is
Exactly, and
for
which
me.
leads on to my next question, because I wanted to ask you, somebody who I know for a fact wouldn't have done video a year ago, who is literally, literally just spent 5 minutes blowing me away with this confidence that you found. Where has that all come from? How have you become the Alan Wynn Davies that is now on the slice, is speaking fluently, and I've got a text, and where has this come from? What has happened? Explain this to me.
Well, I think a lot of it's been a natural progression anyway. And talking about the way technology's changed, obviously the pandemic has kind of forced people from face-to-face meetings into online meetings. If we think about the, the networking meetings that we go to, I probably go to 2 a week.
Hmm.
That in itself has helped me to gain the confidence to speak on film and on video. Um, but people like yourself, I mean, you're a video coach, and how
I
many
tried to be.
conversation, how many conversations did we have last year about the lack of confidence in front of a camera? Um, Within a few conversations with you over the phone and video conversations, I realized that it doesn't matter whether you're talking on camera or not.
Hmm.
It's not that different to face to face. You don't need to travel for 2.5 hours to get to see someone to have that meaningful conversation
Yeah.
anymore. So it's the realization of what you get out of networking meetings on video, what you get from client meetings where you can do screen sharing, you can present things while you're on the video, you can have interaction with more than one people, more than one person. So if you're dealing with companies where they might have an office in Leeds and then another office in London, you can bring all those people together. So I think it's the confidence in me doing this more often is come from just doing it day in, day
Yeah.
out, and it becoming part and parcel of my normal working day.
Yeah, yeah, and I remember when you first asked me, because you wanted to speak to me about doing like a camera conference course, and I said you don't need it.
I know
You know?
that took me back, to be honest with you,
Mm.
because I thought I did need it purely because I'd entered into a networking world which I was a bit alien to. And you have to have a certain amount of courage to stand up in front of people or talk to a room full of people for a minute about what you do and
Mm.
what help you need, etc. But then doing it on video, I thought, well, I probably need a bit more training on it. I
Yeah.
need a bit more coaching on it. But I could do it anyway. But I
Mm.
think it takes somebody like yourself who's a video coach and very helpful person to make you realize that you don't necessarily need the coaching. You just dive in and do it.
Yeah, and that's it. It's about just diving in and doing it. And do you know what? It's funny. I'm just sitting here thinking, like, I can hear a conversation on the mobile downstairs. The dog's been barking. I've had text messages because I put my phone on airplane mode, but then it decides to come through the computer instead. And life isn't perfect, and
No.
it's a perfect example today that my when I first started the show, I literally used to sit there going, "Oh, don't make a noise! I don't want that." You'd hear cars going past outside. You'd hear, in the summer, because we're going through all the seasons now with this show. You'd hear people cutting the grass and chainsaws, and you just realize that life is not perfect.
Mm.
So why should content be perfect? And I don't know whether you can hear conversations. I can hear it. Whether you can hear it is a different thing. But when you actually stop worrying about this perfectionism, you then relax and go, well, do you know what? It is what it is. And people can relate to it. We're all working from home. So we're all working in environments that are not designed for work life. So
No,
we
you're
have to
spot on.
adapt and we have to change. And I am just really kind of proud of how you've come such a long way in such a short space of time.
Well, I guess talking about the journey from 2001 today, I've had to adapt to lots of different situations
Mm-hmm.
in the way technology's evolved and the way businesses now communicate, not just with each other, but globally.
Mm-hmm.
And we're dealing with businesses not just in the northwest of England, North Wales, but we're dealing with companies in Florida.
Yeah.
But it's so easy now to just organize a Teams meeting.
Yeah.
You're speaking to the IT director of a pharmaceutical company in Florida who have a manufacturing plant in Middlesbrough. And then you're bringing all these different people together on a Teams call.
Yeah.
Um, it's very flattering that you're proud that I've done it. But I guess in a way, working in the industry I do, you have to evolve with everything that's
Yeah.
going on, and
Communications. Yeah.
things move so quickly.
You know what? The last couple of days, that alarm has absolutely petrified me. I
You
don't know
jumped then, didn't
why.
you?
I did it the other day. I interviewed somebody the other day, and I did it. I jumped. I don't know what it is, but it seems to be louder in the last couple of weeks than it's ever been. But I did pre-record quite a lot of episodes before Christmas, so maybe it's just I'm just not used to
That went quick though.
interviewing people. It did, didn't it? How did you find it?
I loved it. Yeah,
Was it
great.
good?
I love chatting with you anyway, but it's lovely to do the Slack
Well,
anyway.
for those that are watching, it is Friday, so I know that I'll be speaking to Alan in literally a few hours' time. But we've both probably got a bit of work to do before we can kick off for the weekend. But Alan, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for coming on. So, would you ever do it again?
Absolutely, I'll do it again. Yeah, definitely.
My ears. Well, if anybody would like to watch any previous episodes, you can head over to youtube.com/TakeTheCakePro. If you'd like to see when I post my latest videos, don't forget to hit subscribe and click the bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all soon.